Have seen a few concepts with respect to clock skew and clock jitter. Okay, now I want to clarify a few more things with respect to sequential circuits. Okay, so in this figure you can see whatever I have shown is a block diagram of a finite state machine using positive edge triggered resistors, right? So the system depicted here, it belongs to class of synchronous sequential system in which all resistors are under control of a single global clock. The output of the FSM are a function of the current inputs and the current state. The next state is determined based on the current state and the current inputs. You can see here we have input as well as current state, both acting as an input to the combination logic, and depending upon that we will get the next outputs, right? So as I told, the outputs of the FSM are finite state machine are a function of current inputs and current state. The next state is determined here is based on the current state and the current input and is fed to the inputs of the registers. On the rising edge of the clock, the next state bits are copied to the output of the register, that is after some propagation delay, and a new cycle begins. The resistor then ignores changes in the input signals until the next rising edge. It works with respect to clock. Obviously, it's a sequential circuit. In general, resistors can be positive edge triggered, that is where the input data is copied on the rising edge of the clock, or it can be negative edge triggered where the input data is copied on the falling edge as indicated by a small circle at the clock input. If you represent a small circle, that means it is a negative edge triggered. If there is no that small circle or bubble, then it is a positive edge triggered. Okay, now let me explain few more concepts with respect to setup and hold time. Now please properly refer this figure. Okay, now there are uh, some 2-3 important timing parameters associated with the resistor, right? As that those are shown in this particular figure. That is, first one is the setup time, in short TSU. Okay, all of you please refer. Is the T setup, that is nothing but setup time, or TSU is the time that the data input D must be valid before the clock transition, that is from 0 to 1 transition for a positive triggered register. As shown in this figure, you can see that we have clock, D and output Q, three signals. Okay, now what they're trying to tell, you can see on the D signal there are two timing parameters we mentioned, TSU and T hold. TSU for T setup, T hold is for T uh, hold time, right? Now T setup, how they are going to define is, now the setup time TSU is the time that the data input D must be valid before the transition. Now you can see clock and D one below the other. Before the transition of the clock happens from 0 to 1 for a positive edge triggered sequential circuit or FSM design, the data should remain stable before the transition. That time is, they will call it as setup time. Okay. Now, similarly, the hold time T hold is the time the data input must remain valid after the clock edge, after transition from 0 to 1. How much time, a minimum amount of time, the data should remain constant without any changes. Such time is called as hold time, right? Assuming that the setup and hold times are met, the data at the D input is copied to the output after worst case propagation delay. Now you can see the data has been copied after worst case propagation delay. Assuming that setup and hold times are met, the data at the D input is copied to the Q output after worst case propagation delay with reference to the clock edge denoted by TCQ. This is the worst case propagation delay which it has taken to copy the data after meeting T setup and hold onto the output side, right? Now you should be familiar with the T setup and hold time. Okay, now let us go to the next part. Already we have explained it. I have explained it in the previous class. Once again, with respect to textbook, I will explain. So we'll come to the clock skew. Clock skew is caused by the static mismatches in the clock paths and differences in the clock load. By definition, skew is constant from cycle to cycle, right? So here you can see there are two resistors R1 and R2. the same clock source has been given or been connected to both the registers, but clock 1 is reaching register 1 quickly once compared to register 2, that is clock 2. There is a small delay, you can see here, small delay of delta in between the two clocks. Now this delta itself, they call it as clock jitter. Now they are calling it as positive delay, that is delta is greater than 0. That means the clock is reaching the first register much before than the second one. This is a condition of positive clock skew. Okay, now if I go to the second case, here if you can see, the register 2 is getting the clock before than register 1. Right, now such scenarios they call it as negative skew. Right, now I will show you a diagram. Right, now how the positive and negative skews will come into picture. Here you can see in the first figure, this is the first figure, positive skew. You can see two registers R1 and R2. In between we have a combination logic. We also have a third register R3. Clock is being connected across R1 first, then R2 and R3. And obviously clock will reach R1 first, then to the R2. Then obviously we'll have delta greater than 0. Now if you go to the second case, you can see clock has been connected in the opposite direction. It is reaching R3 first, then R2, then R1. And obviously we will have a negative skew. Okay, both have its own advantages and disadvantages. Now here the data bus structure with the feedback. Here you can see we have the positive skew on the from left side to right side. We have a negative skew from right side to left side. If you have the feedback in one of most of the circuits will be having feedback for stability. Now on such cases we will be having both positive and negative skews which are going to play an important role. Okay, now coming to the clock jitter part. Okay, clock jitter refers to the temporal variation of the clock period at a given point on the chip. That is, the clock period can reduce or expand on a cycle by cycle basis. It is strictly a temporal uncertainty measure and it is often specified at a given point. Jitter can be measured and characterized in a number of ways and is a zero mean random variable. Okay, here you can see, as shown in this particular figure, the actual clock period should be TCLK in between the values 2 and 5, number 2 and 5. But what is happening? The actual clock period has been changed and now the new clock period is from number 3 to number 6. So there is a variation in the clock period. Okay, now this can affect adversely or in other way to some of the sequential circuits. So we have to be careful with respect to both clock skew and clock jitter. All of you please once again refer your text. There are few equations they have given. If you know what is setup time, what is hold time, what is a sequential circuit, what is simple skew, what is simple clock jitter, and we have discussed in the previous video, I have discussed also about the different causes for these skews and jitter. Once again in detail, a few points about these two concepts we'll discuss in the next video, and then I will continue with the next part of this module. All of you please go through, keep on studying, then only you can easily and have the practice of writing these equations along with the diagrams. These diagrams, how they are shown, the timing diagrams as well as the logic diagrams, both you draw, have practice. Obviously after the end of this module I will be sharing you some assignment questions after referring to different question papers, previous question papers. Right, please keep on studying. Thank you.